Hello, YouTube viewers. Do you remember me? I am Derived Energy from the planet Vumph. I will now inform you about the history of my world.
Hello there, I'm Derived Energy and I'm a philanthropist anti-natalist, and I've read David Bennett's book, Better Never to Have Been Born, The Harm of Coming into Existence, and no one has ever refuted his key arguments to my satisfaction. So I'm going to explain the main thrust of his arguments to you, provide you with a couple of thought experiments to support his contentions, and then counter common arguments that Bennett's position faces. Now, his argument is simple but, to my mind, devastatingly persuasive. He states that if you are born, you experience both good, mental positive states, and bad, negative mental states during the course of your life. But if, however, one is never born, then one won't experience any bad, i.e. pain, anxiety, existential angst, depression, or anything like that. Now, on the other hand, if one is never born, one never experiences any positive mental states either, joy, love, sexual satisfaction, etc. However, if there is nobody to experience these positive mental states, I challenge any viewer here to suggest how this can be a deprivation for the person who never came into existence.
Hello everyone, DE, Derived Energy. In this video I'll be talking about technology and future prospects, and I'm going to read from John Gray's Straw Dogs. This chapter is called Why Humanity Will Never Master Technology. Okay, and he says, humanity does not exist. There are only humans driven by conflicting needs and illusions, and subject to every kind of infirmity of will and judgment. And by this I think he means that there is no kind of unified being called humanity. You know, we're just adrift in DNA, and there's no kind of, it's just an abstraction to say that humanity is one being. I mean, when people consider the extinction of the human race, they think that it's almost as if they personify humanity into one being. But if humanity was just one being, then he'd look something like this.
Procreate, 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 procreate.
We can make it if we try to. Building candles in the sky.
Step back, I'm telling you now. There's no escaping the accounts of how we got owned by the DNA chemistry. Fucking with our brains since 1563 BC. Step back, I'm telling you now. Like it or not, we've got to show now that we understand our plight. And how we gonna try to make bad things turn to right? Listen, I know it's tough to understand. I empathize with your demands, but break it. You're under a spell. You can't see the truth.
But life is a gift. We have a responsibility to give this beautiful gift of life to future generations. Who are we to deprive these future generations of the wonder and beauty of life? But what about the other non-human animals on the planet? If I don't have any children, then other non-human animals will suffer, so it's pointless for me not to have any children, because there will be gorillas and fish and crocodiles that will still suffer, so it makes no difference if I create a child or not. Well, I think there's a certain flavour, it seems to me, of a dichotomy of experiential self-reflexivity between the exterior universe and one's own subjective experience, and this creates a nuance of a remarkably complex and subtle cacophony and orchestra of very rich subjective experiences that underpin the foundation of our being. Babies are cute. It's the ultimate expression of love between a couple to create a baby. Yes, this anti-natalist debate is very interesting and thought-provoking, but, wait a second, what's that? Yes, procreation is selfish, but it's fun. I'm happy, 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 everything is happy. Life is what you make it. It's the journey, not the destination, stupid. Well, you see, if you're an anti-natalist, then you're too busy being an anti-natalist and not procreating and rearing children, so you don't have any free time. Can you see the flaws in your reasoning here? But what about aliens in the universe? If there's no more life on planet Earth, then how is anybody from this planet going to help all the other suffering and dying animals in the universe? Poor aliens. But if you don't have any children, you're not sparing anybody. You're not sparing them from pain and suffering. So I'm going to bring them in anyway. Do the world a favour and kill yourself if suffering pains you so. You weren't asked to be born. So what? Get the fuck over it!
Ladies and gentlemen, it's philosophical debate time. In the white corner, we have a roll of toilet paper hailing from a toilet paper factory somewhere in Europe. And in the blue corner, we have Derived Energy, standing 181.3 centimeters tall, barefoot, weighing in at an impressive 83 kilograms, hailing from England. Let's get ready to rumble! Hello, toilet paper. Would you like to start?
Is it better to be a sentient, self-reflexive being in the universe? Or is it better to be a non-sentient, non-self-reflexive manifestation of energy in the universe? Right, toilet paper. Let me tell you how great it is to be a human.
Things. We can juggle
Toilet paper, huh? Were you impressed? Does that make you want to come into existence? Well, toilet paper. The human mind can create instruments like this so that we can learn about the world. Look. Doesn't that make you want to come into existence? Look. It's fun. Look, we've got a microscope. No, we can read. We can read books so we can entertain our mind. Do you want to come into existence and read a book? Stephen King? Do you think any lawyer whose services I could buy with that little bit of money I have in the bank could stand up to the lawyers? We can fabricate superstitions like this one, and then we can pray to it. Come on, you've got to pray to Jesus. Jesus was sent down to earth by God 2,000 years ago to be crucified on a cross. So what's the point of doing that if nobody comes into existence, eh? Isn't that a bit ungrateful of you? We can play sports. Let's play a bit of pool, billiards, snooker. No? Well, we can get drunk. Do you want to get drunk? You can come into existence and get drunk. It's nice to get drunk. No, you're not interested in that either, are you? Look, you're not communicating in this debate very well, are you? I can see I'm going to have to get a little bit nastier and intimidating. Right. Now look here, this has gone on far enough. If you don't come into existence, I'm going to say bad things about you. No response. Look, I'm a mortal being, okay, I'm going to die, and okay, sometimes I do experience pain and suffering. Do you? No, it doesn't. Look, okay, I'm going to humiliate you into existence, okay? If you don't express a view that you want to come into existence, then I'm going to inflict pain on you, okay? You're not doing anything. Did that hurt? Huh? Did that hurt? I said, did that hurt? You're disgusting. Non-sentient. I'm going to humiliate you. I'm going to use you to wipe my ass. Hi everyone. I like looking at this picture. Let's have a look. Because it helps to put things in perspective and to see how insignificant and small the planet Earth really is. So we've got the sun here, which when all said and done is just a medium-sized star. And we've got the gas giant Jupiter and Saturn, and we've got Uranus and Neptune. I'm not sure which is which because they're both about the same size. And then this little speck here, zoom in, that's Earth. All the problems we've seen have occurred on this little insignificant speck.
Doomed. We are all doomed, both individually and collectively as a species. The reason why this truism is barely given the light of day in polite society is because it is intolerably disheartening to the average mortal, necessitating as it does the employment of vigorous mental gymnastics in order to deny the otherwise glaring fact that all mankind's struggles, tribulations, sweat, tears, and shrieks of excruciating agony and mental torment will ultimately add up to precisely a big fat zero. Once, when pointing out this very fact to a life-affirming DNA Borg, I was rejoined for failing to take into account the wide oceans of time that separate us from this future eventuality, as if A, it has been preordained that our species will be an exceptionally long-lived one, and B, as if the fact that our extinction is located temporarily in the future somehow mitigates against the fact that we
that we are all essentially mired in a pointless, futile and malignantly useless tragic comedy where the only function of life is the maintenance and replication of strings of DNA. Picture, if you will, cyborgs, robots and drones firing laser guns into large crowds of petrified citizens as they inadvertently trample to death each other in frenzies of blind, uncontrollable panic. Unsettling as it is to visualize such horrors, one has to ask, how are we going to possibly prevent such horrors from unfolding in the future to the degree that it will still be possible for the majority of the human race to swallow the lie that life is worth perpetuating indefinitely? I don't believe that we will be able to, especially after cognitive mind science delivers a fatal blow to the fallacious belief that we are free unitary beings and reveal us to be merely things, DNA animated puppets dancing to the pull of the strings that compel our every thought and action, bio-robots cobbled together by blind, dumb and remorseless physical forces. As disenchantment sweeps the land of technologically advanced nations, both philanthropic and misanthropic forms of antinatalism will gain adherents. With the technologies that are likely to become available in the not too distant future, mere hundreds of years from now, our species' future prospects look terminal indeed.
Hi guys, Derived Energy here. I thought I'd show you some photos of me as a kid, just for a change of pace. Alright, so first of all, cowboy mode. Yes, I look very scary. Looking sleepy. Always a fan of Star Wars. It's when I received a Jabba Hutt toy as a kid at Christmas. And I have a lightsaber. Very scary. My first day of school, I think this was, about 11 years old. Sweet school uniform. Bit of skateboarding. Yeah, check out that poise. Bit like a little gremlin there. Check out the facial expression. The worst bowl cut in history, there we go. And that's me aged about 21 on the River Nile. So I've aged a little bit. Laters. Derived Energy here. I'm off to Indonesia on Monday evening. I'm flying out from Heathrow. I'm going to Jakarta. I've got my Indonesian travel guide ready there, and I'm looking forward to it, but a bit nervous. This will add to the countries that I've already been to, which are England, Scotland, Wales, Republic of Ireland, Poland, Holland, Spain, Israel, Egypt, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Japan, South Korea, Thailand, Vietnam, Laos, Australia, New Zealand, Argentina, Ecuador, Colombia, Venezuela, Brazil, and Paraguay, and Hong Kong, and now Jakarta. So yeah, I like travelling the world. I could never get into that mindset of the white picket fence, if you know what I mean. But I'm looking forward to the freedom that comes with, you know, travelling the world, and that it's a bit daring do. But as I'll be starting a new job and living in a new country, I'll probably be experiencing a lot of culture shock, so I might not be able to make a video on my channel for a little while, but I'm sure I'll come back into the fold at a later date. Alright, so yeah, I'll just need a little bit of time to get used to a new country, but yeah, take care everybody, see you later.
Ta-da! I'm back. Okay, I'm going to address suicide and antinatalism in this video. It's a common counter argument. against antinatalists. You know, the idea that if they see life as harmful, then why do they continue to live their life when they could commit suicide? Now, there are many objections to this. The first obvious objection is that suicide is a tremendously horrific experience to put yourself through. You know, we've evolved a deep, vociferously passionate aversion to the idea of our own death, and to inflict harm on your own person requires an incredible amount of courage, you know, and most people are craven cowards in that they can't end their own life, even if they want to. You know, it's like it transcends reason. Our fear of death. It's an incredibly potent, powerful force that stays our hand even if we feel suicidal. And actually, although I'm an antinatalist, I'm not actually suicidal as such, at least at this point in my life. But I don't see any inconsistency between not being suicidal and being an antinatalist, because I see that if you don't procreate, you're not creating unnecessary pain, suffering and death for your child. But once you create that child, they have vested interests in staying alive, in as much as committing suicide. As I say, it's a tremendously traumatic experience to have to put yourself through, just so non-antinatalists can be appeased that antinatalists aren't being hypocritical. A second point is, obviously, if antinatalists kill themselves, then that has an incredibly negative, damaging effect on people who love and care about the person who took their life, you know. So if I committed suicide, then my parents and my sister, just off the bat, there are 3 people who would be incredibly upset by my not existing anymore. So obviously, people who commit suicide have to think about these things before they take their own life. You know, what effect is my death going to have on those who love and care about me? So those are the 2 biggest reasons, I think, why there's no hypocrisy involved in being an antinatalist and not killing oneself, not committing suicide, not taking one's own life.
Who are you? Who are we? Restless reconfiguring energy, caught in a web of space and time, snared in a trap, older than rhyme. Now please do not doubt my sincerity when I argue so adamantly that we're all going to die in a myriad of ways. It's part and parcel of life, or so they say. I wholly concur, of that I have no doubt. So face up to facts and smell a rat. There's no easy way to say this. We've truly been fucked, the ramifications of which are horrid enough. So let's not compound it by failing to see that DNA is a monstrosity, generating as it does vast oceans of pain, so much sadness and strife, and all in the name of the unfounded premise that life is some kind of gift. My intellect rejects this pernicious myth. We fight and we bleed over emblems and trinkets, and all in the name of demented wishes. Clarity lurks in our minds from dawn until dusk, only held back by insanity and lust.
DNA, we love you, worship and adore you, submit ourselves to your call, to procreate and draw you into a world beyond our ken, into a world full of pain. We DNA puppets feel our strings, yank us into oblivion, and on the way we stop and stare, and sagely state we're going somewhere, or otherwise pause to reflect that journey's path warrants it.
But I take umbrage and boldly state that DNA is carnage incarnate, a wasteful engine of sadness and woe, and sadly folks, it's time for it to go. It's had its chance, aeons of it, and all it's done is create shit. Now scoff and bitch all you want, you can't control this experiment. You're up to your neck, it's plain to see. Catastrophes loom so menacingly, nanobots, grey goo and AI, man-made viruses and harm from the sky, pulverizing all of your hopes and your dreams, shattering your delusions apart at the seams. Now in order to attempt to prevent all of this, you're going to have to do more than proffer a kiss. You have to put a cap on technology and brainwash us in schools more thoroughly, so that we all buy the lie that life is a gift. It's too late for that, we're already pissed. There is no objective morality, just cause and effect and insanity. I feel my blood boil rampantly, I seek to put an end to humanity. And who really bears these malevolent thoughts? You simmer down and be a good sport. I can give you the truth, are you ready for this? They inhabit our minds in our sleep. For who can deny that life is unfair, or works in a way immune to despair, destined to crumble and deteriorate? There's really no escaping our cruel fate.
Fourthly, as I see it, now that I'm here, I might as well try and make the best of a losing situation, and use this opportunity to try to mop up and help and reduce and prevent the suffering and the pain that I see around me, you know. And I think one of the ways of achieving this is to spread social awareness that procreation is a morally problematic enterprise. So that's a fourth reason. So you can see there are lots of reasons not to kill oneself once one finds oneself as a member of the human species. Laters.